known as Tyr's Guard, recounting Keeper Tyr and Keeper Odin's mythic battle against Ragnaros the Firelord. Ragnaros retreated to the heart of his lair, where he was most powerful, and waited for his enemies to come to him. He called fire from the sky to waylay Tyr and Odin. Smoke descended on the land and became like night. A single bright light shone in the darkness. The silvery glow of Tyr's great hammer drifted to and from, sometimes forward, sometimes back. Erratic movements confused Ragnaros. He gradually let down his guard down, believing Tyr and Odin were too cowardly to face him in battle. That was exactly what the keepers had been waiting for. Like a bolt of lightning, Tyr pierced through the smoke and scored a blow against Ragnaros with his hammer. Odin then flanked the staggering Firelord. The two keepers overwhelmed their foe. From Chapter 3 of The Age of Galacrond by the historian Evelina. As the great warrior Tyr was, he did not always escape his battles unharmed. An example of this was his confrontation with the monstrous proto-drake named Galacrond. Countless years after the keepers defeated the old gods and imprisoned them beneath the earth, Galacrond emerged to rule the skies of the world. A fierce hunger compelled the proto-dragon to eat everything in his path. When Tyr learned about the creature, he feared that Galacrond would soon devour all nature. He gathered 5 other proto-dragons to wage war on him. Though the 5 proto-dragons would eventually vanquish Galacrond, their initial attacks on him went poorly. Tyr's new allies did not always work together. Even when they did, Galacrond proved too mighty for the combined strength of the Keeper and the proto-dragons. In one battle, Tyr himself grappled with Galacrond and pummeled the beast with his hammer. Blows had little effect. Tyr's hammer was knocked from his grasp, and Galacrond consumed the Keeper's hand. Only with the help of his 5 winged allies did Tyr escape with his life. Galacrond must have been very burly if, Odin and Tyr just just bitch slap around Ragnaros, but Galacrond is just like, hammer schmammer. You'd think, moving fire will be harder to injure than, something made of flesh, even if it is covered in hardened hide. Keeper Tyr worked with a giant named Jotun to replace his appendage. They mined a vein of pure silver deep within Azeroth. Jotun used metal to forge a hand for his injured companion. Tyr was in awe of Jotun's craftsmanship, and he asked the giant for one final favour: to reforge his warhammer so that it would incorporate the image of his new hand. The giant did so, but inquired why the keeper wanted to draw more attention to his wound. Tyr replied that he did not consider his argent hand a reminder of defeat. For him, it was a symbol of the sacrifice he made to defend Azeroth, and he wanted the world to see it that way as well. When Jotun finished reshaping the hammer, Tyr named his weapon the Silver Hand. As the ages passed on Azeroth, the unity between Tyr and his fellow keepers crumbled. Keeper Eokin fell under the sway of the imprisoned old god Yogg-Saron. The once noble giant turned on his kin, leaving many of them incapacitated or imprisoned. Oaken's betrayal ignited chaos among the Earthen, Vrykul, and other Titanforged creatures who had served the Keepers. Only Tyr and a handful of his closest allies eluded Oaken's wrath. Though they planned to strike down the corrupted Keeper, they first needed to find refuge for the Earthen and their other innocent servants. Tyr rallied the Titanforged to his side, ventured south in search of a place that was safe from Oaken's reach. The journey was harsh, and many of the Titanforged worried for the future. Only the sight of Tyr leading the way, his legendary hammer always in hand, gave them hope they needed to continue. Nearly all of Tyr's followers travelled south, but not Jotun. Inspired by the Keeper's ideal of personal sacrifice, the giant stayed behind to distract Oaken and help mask his allies' escape. Jotun succeeded, but he was punished for his heroics. When Oaken learned that many of the Titanforged had fled south, he captured Jotun and twisted his mind. The cursed giant was forced to search the lands surrounding Ulduar and destroy Tyr, anything that symbolized his power, and anyone who followed his ideals. As his first act, Jotun shattered the anvil he used to craft Tyr's hand and reshape his warhammer. From the writings of Tyr's Guard, recounting Tyr's death, Woken awakened 2 of the old god's most powerful generals and sent them after Tyr. These enormous creatures were called Cataraxi. They stormed south, caught up with Tyr and the Titanforged refugees in the land we know as Tyrsfall, or as the Vrykul called it, Tyr's Fall. I kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of Thursday. As someone was explaining before, that's Thor's Day or something. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it's kind of similar to that, ain't it? Tears fall. Tears fall. Yeah, it's kind of a, you know. I'm assuming that's where they're going with that line, you know. Tyr stood against his Cataxi alone. It was his final and greatest hour. Tyr called upon all the lessons he'd learned in battle. He wielded his silver hand as if it was an extension of his own body. The Cataxi slashed at his metal hide, but Tyr's hammer shielded him in holy power and mended his wounds. The battle dragged on, with neither the Keeper nor his enemies giving any ground. Tyr knew that there was only one way to secure the safety for his allies. He had unleashed his immense powers, igniting an explosion of arcane magic that blasted a massive crater in the earth. Tyr and one of his foes were killed instantly. The other, on the verge of death, retreated from the battle site. After Tyr's sacrifice, his allies entombed the fallen Keeper and the dead Kertax where they lay. None of the Titanforge felt worthy of taking up their leader's hammer, and they buried it with his corpse. Maybe it's the dead Kertax. Maybe that's what was warping the Highborn when they landed. But then why wasn't it lashing out at humans when they settled there and lived happy? There is a plot point there that's not fully expanded upon, and it needs plenty of detail and explanation for why it only affected the Highborn and not the humans. Tyr's followers then enchanted the tomb with protective wards. They bound the silver hand to these magical seals, thereby preventing anyone from touching it in the future. Of all the Titanforge who'd come south, the Vrykul were the most moved by what Tyr had done to protect them. They decided to stay in the region and stand vigil over the Keeper's tomb. An excerpt from the Legends of the Silver Hand by the historian. At some point in Azeroth's distant past, humanity emerged in Tyr's glades. The dark-skinned Vrykul who lived there slowly died off. Mandim suffered from the curse of flesh, strange malady that transformed into creatures of flesh and blood. Yet one group of Vrykul lasted longer than the others. They formed a secretive group, Tyr's Guard, to protect the Keeper Tyr's tomb. The Vrykul of this order knew that they would not live forever, so they inducted some of the fledgling humans into their ranks. The Vrykul taught the human members of Tyr's Guard the history of the Fallen Keeper, his tenets of self-sacrifice and justice, and the truth of what lay within the tomb. In the ancient days, the only humans ever to breach Tyr's tomb and bypass its protectors were following the... let me start that again. In ancient days, the only humans to ever breach Tyr's tomb and bypass its protectors were following the legendary human king Thoradin. After the elderly ruler abdicated his throne, he became obsessed with his race's history. Thoradin's curiosity eventually led him to discover Tyr's final resting place. When Thoradin arrived at the tomb, Tyr's god confronted him. A tense standoff ensued. The former king was accompanied by a powerful retinue of guards and learned sorcerers. Though the members of Tyr's god did not want him to disturb the gravesite, they also did not want bloodshed. Thoradin and his followers forced their way past Tyr's guard. Much of what happened next is shrouded in rumour. It said that Thoradin and his retinue ventured into the darkened catacombs. They were never seen again. Tyr's guard knew that Thoradin's magi had broken the tomb's wards in their foolish quest to explore the gravesite. The Order's members made a vow that day. They would not enter the catacombs again, for fear that further meddling would awaken the Catarax buried inside, and unleash its evil on the world. Oh, they should have stopped them, shouldn't they? For thousands of years, Tyr's guard continued its sacred duty. New members came and went, and over time they adopted more techniques to help them protect Tyr's tomb. In particular, defenders felt affinity towards paladins, holy warriors who arose to battle the Orcish horde in the Second War. So it wasn't always paladin order. Fair enough. Like I said, that might be common in at least the fiction I could think of at the time, but it's not always the case. If you get me. It's common if a secret group changes how they work. It's either detrimental to the group or the world as a whole, but that's not always the case. I can't really think of many examples off the top of my head. It's just a vague, a feeling, it's like a memory that's faded, So I can't remember details, but I remember the shape of it, if you get me. So paladins did arose in the Second War. It's just there's the Draenei, and they've been paladins for centuries, hundreds of thousands of years. So, and then there's a series of Vrykul serving the Titans. So I was figuring they had, paladins as well. But no, it seems that the paladins only joined it in the Second War. The members of Tyr's Guard learned how to wield the Holy Light and became mighty paladins. Yet even this new powered and found power could not save the Order from the undead Scourge. When the Scourge swept over the human kingdom of Orderon, Tyr's Guard crumbled, when a few brave members, led by a paladin named Travard, remained to uphold their ancient vows. And that's the end of the story. And now only Travard survives. And he says we'll meet again, but we must meet again in, remember I was saying, the Mage Tower quest. Honestly, I don't see myself really doing the other artifact things. I only see myself doing the what do you call it? Ashbringer. I can only see myself worrying about that. Don't see myself worrying too much about the others. I'm going to give this a try as protection. If needs be, I'll switch to retribution. It just seems more fitting to be a protection. It feels more thematic to be protection right now. Since I'm finally fucking right.
Since the defeat of the Lich King,
I think I've seen this guy in Wrath.
Learning about Tyr. He was the only Titan Keeper who fought Loken during his betrayal. I found a very cool saga describing a powerful shield Tyr crafted for his Vrykul champion to carry into battle.
I have some ability to speak with the long departed. We may be able to question the hero in this saga directly.
Aye, that's my hope. With your help, we have a chance of finding this artifact.
There is a faction of Tauren. I can't remember what they're called. Maybe Spirit Walkers. I think that's their name. But they can actually they're not a liked tribe among the Tauren, but they can resurrect the dead, and maybe this person, Sagewind here, is actually meant to be part of them. I'm not sure. I swear I've seen his name around too, but maybe that was just earlier on when I've, noticed these two NPCs. I might have seen them outside of this quest, basically. Secret of Truth. Glad to see you. I'm glad you're coming. I've been wanting to pursue this for some time now. Nearly 2 years. I've been waiting for you. With help from the Seers, I think it can be done. Naturally, I've done some legwork already. I believe this Gorvold is buried at Shoot Hill in the Howling Fjord. Tahu can help locate the grave. With a short ritual, we should have answers. Meet us at Shield Hill in the Howling Fjord, and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. And we'll move on to the next step.
The tower in the middle of Dolaran has a portal to Wormrest Temple. Should get you most of the way there. Tahu, thanks again for helping us paladins.
You asked the Sunwalkers for aid, and I've come. May my presence bring success to your quest, Auric.
Okay, so we continue. Wait, I saw some innocent Jim. He's saying nothing. He eyes you warily. I think he's one of the demons in disguise. But yes, innocent Jim. That is hysterical. I love it. Seriously, that's just beautiful. Chamber of the Guardian. Wait. I thought those were war books. They're nothing. Why are these just filled with Karen Tor symbols? I figure it's weird. It feels like they built an extra pedestal. Well, how many Titan artifacts did we get? 5 or 4? Well, there's this one here on the ground. Then there's these 4 who I can no longer hover over anymore. I swear I could get their names before. Then there's these 2 extra pedestals. It's weird just to have them. Maybe Blizzard was thinking of having 6 Titan artifacts and then just decided to go with just 4. But the pedestals were already there, so they just stuck in the Kirin Tor sigils. I'm not sure if that's how they would work out, but there you go. Okay, there's that. It's for the old legendary. Howling Fjord is all the way down there. Fine. Line her up and auto run. We'll be there soon enough. At some stage I will do the Shadow Morn quest, the Rather Lich King Legendary. I will do that at some stage. I kind of want to wait till I get a character of the appropriate class up to this level, started on them, I'll finish on Palnai. I'm already a bit into it, so I want to show you the earlier stages, and I'll just finish it off on this guy. There is a quest here, while we're waiting for us to move. There is a quest that sends you... It's been a while, so I can't exactly pinpoint it. But for the Argent Tournament, there's like, it sends you to like here, or the water is near here, maybe over here. You get, you have to go kiss frogs till you get a certain sword off them or something. Also, that's Sindragosa's Fall. Really? Alright. Oh yeah. There is a dragon in Frozen Throne. I keep thinking it's Sindragosa, but it's not. It's a different dragon. So I got puzzled because Artis landed on the coast of Northrend and had to fight his way up to Ice Crown. But if Sindragosa falls up there, that doesn't make sense because he killed the dragon not long after landing. It's all a case of it being a very different dragon. Sindragosa was raised later on. But yeah, you're seeing all this cool terrain, and it's actually not bad looking. All this cool stuff, you'll be seeing it eventually when I get a character up here. I have plenty of alts to level, plenty of content to show you. It'll all be done eventually, just not yet. And there was a continuation to the Paladin Order Hall quest via... Remember the Paladin Order Hall quest I had with Ashbringer? We went and helped out the priests and we fended off that demon. Maybe we'll get another one of those for these two specs. I didn't think of that. Or maybe we only get one of them, and it depends on which one we pick first as our artifact. Probably wouldn't work like that. We'll probably get all, you know, the continued story for both of them. And it's not just going to be the Mage Tower thing, it's going to be, like, remember when we fended off Mal'Ganis? Or whoever he was, at the Priest Order Hall. Excuse me. And there's a Storm Giant. Don't really get much explanation of them. They just, like, fuck around here and be basically fodder for the Scourge Machine. You know, they don't really do much. Here they are.
You made it. This land haunts me still. So much pain and death. Well, let's get on with it.
Gorvald Ironbrow was a great warrior. He was one of the few willing to brave the dangers of a lost past. His many victories were fueled by his cunning and collection of powerful artifacts from the older ages. Braving the forbidden areas of Storm Peaks, he learned of a powerful shield, wielded by a champion of Tyr. The shield became his obsession as he scoured the continent in search of it. After venturing to the forgotten battlefields in the north, Gorvold learned that the champion went south with Tyr, fleeing the crumbling empire of the Titans behind. Yes, the empire built on a Titan's crack. Gorvold built a mighty ship and began his journey south as well. Gorvold braved a sea beast and storm alike, following the harrowing trail south. With guile, he tracked the bare scraps of a trail across a continent to find a long-forgotten battle. Here he found stunted Rykul, the cast-offs of Mirmon's edict. Mirmon's edict?